welcome to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit, and today we have another timeless pick a card reading on how do people view your physical appearance and how do people view your image. And before we begin this reading, I do want to announce 31st of January, I will be offering my astrology course for the very first time. My courses are long. It's not a one-day, 2-hour workshop. You will be with me for 2 months. So if you genuinely have the time, if you want to dive into the metaphysical esoterics of your own birth chart and have a genuine intuitive approach to it and make predictions for yourself and for others, come learn. It's going to be a beautiful, interesting course. Very happy to teach it. And I'm also offering personal readings. I will look at your birth chart as a part of the reading, so hit me up for that as well. I will be increasing my rates in the coming year, so come get your readings in before the new year. And please do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. Our video has been number 27 on the board, so thank you so much for the hypes, for everyone who hyped my video. I genuinely am so grateful for all the love that I get and all the likes, all the subscribes, all the hypes. I really appreciate it, and I feel so grateful that I get to do this work. Thank you for all this lovely, sweet comments that you guys just pour into me every day, all the time, in the comment sections and on the emails and my DMs. Thank you so much for all the love. And yeah, let's begin this reading on how do people view your physical appearance and your image. We have 3 piles to choose from. Pile number 1, we have our, I think pile number 1 was the Rider-Waite-Smith. Yeah, pile number 1 is Rider-Waite-Smith. Pile number 2 is Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea. And pile number 3 is our beloved Gustave Doré Tarot. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. Again, remember, these are general readings. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Hit me up if you want a personal reading, if you want to learn astrology, witchcraft, tarot, and I will see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, this is your reading on how do people view your image and your appearance. And before we jump into this reading, I do want to announce that 31st of January, I will be offering my astrology course. So if you're interested in learning astrology from me, you're really welcome to come join. My courses are lengthy. It's not a one-day workshop. You will be with me for 2 months. So if you have the time, if you really want to take a very intuitive approach to astrology, you're really welcome to come learn from me. I'm very happy to teach. 31st of January is when we begin. And I'm also offering personal readings. You can hit me up. I'm really quick at giving personal readings, so I will give you a reading as soon as you want it. And I'm also increasing my rates in the coming year. So get your readings in before the new year, and I will very happily look at your birth chart. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please do hype the video for me 3 times. I know a lot of y'all don't get the hype button, and I don't know exactly understand the hype thing yet, but thank you so much for everyone who has hyped my video. And it was number 27 on the leaderboard, so thank you so much. I really appreciate all the love and all the lovely, sweet comments every day. So thank you so much for all the love. And now let's begin this reading on how do people view your image, how do people view your appearance, your physical appearance. You know what, pile number 1, I'm hearing this. Well, it's one of my favorite songs, and it's by this very niche artist, not known by many. And she goes now by Cruel Youth, but it's Natalia Kills for people who know. And she has a song called Portrait of a Female. And I do think that sort of describes your image. People do see you in this very feminine light, in this very ingenue light. You're like a debutante, and you're sort of like Bambi too. There's fragility to you, and there's a vulnerability, and you could look very ephemeral. You could look very pixie-like, very fairy-like. You're very otherworldly. So that is super attractive to people, and people really see you as someone who's just walked out of a dream. So you have that image, and yeah, you might want to listen to that song. It's like a really nice song. And another thing with Natalia Kills, I feel, I think you've gone through a lot of deep, dark transformations, and you've been misunderstood by the masses. You could have a Saturn Ketu conjunction, and you could have a Saturn Ketu conjunction in the 11th house in your D1 or D9, or you could even have it in any house. And there's something about you that just doesn't appeal to the masses, yet you're supposed to change the status quo of what is the cultural norm. So you experience a lot of difficulty in social situations, and I do feel you, number one, and there's a greater purpose to this, and I do think you are psychic enough to see that for yourself. But again, it doesn't make it any easy, but again, having that perspective eases the suffering if you choose, Now let's actually shuffle some tarot and see. Temperance, Star, Four of Wands, Knight of Swords, and the Hermit. Yeah, you are like in this very elevated spiritual energy. I think that's the best way I can describe it by number one. You are an angel walking the earth. You are an alchemist. Something very angelic, like I said, very otherworldly about you. And people see you to be the star. And like I said, you are transmuting. You're transmuting a lot of pain that is thrown at you. And you are a healer. You activate people and you heal people. And you will also be very good at initiating people. You definitely have like a Ketu in the 12th, Ketu in Pisces. Very 12th house energy. You could even have a lot of planets, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars in the 12th, D1, D9, even Saturn. Seeing a lot of 12th house energy, and you feel very detached from the world. You know what's up, yet you play your role very well, and you create the harmony wherever you go. You are the reason that there is harmony around you, and people really have like a ground to land on. People are very attracted to Knight of Wands, and I do think you attract a lot of this player energy. You do attract a lot of player energy, and people see you to be very lucky, people see you to be very fortunate, and people have seen you go through these deep, dark, scorpionic transformations, and you've only come out softer, more beautiful, more ephemeral is the word I'm hearing for you. Something not of this world. That's what you are. That's who you really are. And I know I get a lot of people who come to me for readings, and whenever I see their sun or moon, especially sun in the 12th house, and I see people struggling with solitude, I just have to like give them the brutal truth that they actually need to start enjoying it, because as a 12th houser, if you're not able to enjoy the solitude, because the stillness is like the basic foundation. You have to be still if you want to be able to hear God, and I do think you have God on speed dial, so it's not really difficult for you to make contact. But I think you get very caught up in the materiality of the world, but people don't see you struggle, people don't see you sweat, people still see a very polished, otherworldly version of you, and they're very much stricken and in awe. You are like the sun, you radiate impartially on everyone. You heal people and you tell them it's okay. You also help people create like a safe space where they can let go of a lot of pain and trauma and negativity they have been holding within themselves. And you do this very effortlessly, by number one. So people can't always figure it out, but it's your high spiritual healer energy. That is what people are really attracted to, and that is what your external beauty is a mere reflection of. So very deep, and I do think very few people do see you for who you are. People can see you for who you are, and I don't think it's most people, but I do think people are mesmerized nonetheless, whether they can understand you or your depth or not. So those themes for you are really prominent over here, by number one. And you're meant to walk alone, and you are a leader. And I feel everyone in this pile is meant to have your own business. Sooner or later, you're meant to get into doing your own business. So you'll be really successful at making a lot of money. You have money making abilities, yeah. And I do think you on purpose have been put into sticky situations where you've had to struggle with money. But the struggle has helped you. It has really helped you, in a way, get to the best version of yourself. And you have already excelled, and you have outdone everyone that was ahead of you. So people really see you to be the real star of the show. Even if you struggle the most, you could be really good at something and be really bad at another thing, and I believe that, when you start doing really well at something, just to humble yourself and to, destroy your ego, go and learn something that is really difficult for you to do. And that'll really keep you humble. And I don't have to tell you to be humble, because I do think you're very detached from your ego. I can definitely feel it and sense it. But that's what you need to do, because there's always going to be a new mountain for you to climb. And I do think you have this insatiable thirst and hunger. You could have Jupiter in Capricorn, Jupiter in the 10th house. You are a worker and you are a workaholic. And again, you're meant to go into intense periods of burnouts, honestly, and still thrive and still pull through without actually burning out or crashing out, pile number one. And that's a superpower you have. Just the ability of the things you can tolerate in a day. It is a superpower. You're definitely giving Asurgan, and if you're born in the Asurgan, check your Vedic astrology. Yes, you're more like the Titans than like the gods. Yet, because you have the ability to swim in deep currents, you can change the world. And you experience difficulty to change the world. So your beauty is, it has a very strong spiritual purpose. I would say your beauty is your spiritual weapon that you will be using to awaken and heal people. So it's really deep what you have, and it is a God gift. You could even have Venus in the first house, or Venus and Moon conjunction in the first. You could also be Taurus rising. So you could have Scorpio in the 7th house. And I do think you attract a lot of explosive relationships. And it's always supposed to transform you and make you better. And the more you suffer and the more you struggle, the more glorious your victory is, pile number one. And I know it really sucks, but it is what it is. And, make the most of it. And realizing these things, it might upset you for a few days. But after a few days, it will liberate you, and you'll be able to come back to yourself better than ever. Like I said, you're not afraid of an ego death. You're not scared of it. And I know you're not scared of an ego death. And I know a lot of spiritual people who have told me that they've been incredibly scared of having an ego death. Not my personal experience. I do love an ego death, and I do enjoy it thoroughly. But I can see why most people don't enjoy it, But I do think you do enjoy it, pile number one. So you already know what's up, your clairvoyance is there. Strategy, yeah. But I think the only advice is take less burdens. Learn to say no. Boundaries. You're doing a lot. You're really doing a lot. And you're supposed to do a lot. You could even have Rahu in the 10th or Rahu in the 6th in Capricorn or Virgo. I'm seeing a renewal. I'm seeing a new beginning for you. And I think the best way I can sum it up how people perceive you is you are like the fool, in the tarot, even though we haven't gotten that card, but you're a fool in the spiritual sense, You're so enlightened that to the unenlightened, you look mad, even though they are the ones who are mad. By number one, I think that's really the truth over here. And you do see it all sitting on your throne. You don't have to say a word. So, very powerful, and I think your power is only going to increase. You will have certain collaborations, but even the collaborations you have, it'll be you teaching people, So, you will have students, not colleagues, And even though people might want to be your friends, maintain the detachment if you really want to continue to help people in the long run. That's a message for you. Yeah. That's all I have for pile number 1. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest with you. Like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype this video for me. And if you are interested in learning astrology from me, if you are interested in getting a personal reading from me, you can hit me up in my email or my Instagram. Details in the description box below. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the Navigator's Tarot of the Mystic Sea, this is your reading on how do people view your physical appearance and your image. And even before we begin this reading, I do want to announce that 31st of January, I will be offering my astrology course. So if you're interested in learning, do come learn and join the course. It's not going to be a one-day workshop. It's going to be a 2-month course. My courses are long. If you are genuinely interested in learning, getting deep into your own birth chart, having a more intuitive approach to your astrology, and actually being able to make predictions, because that's what we do over here. You're very welcome to come learn. And I'm also offering personal readings. I will very happily look at your birth chart as a part of the personal reading, and I'm also increasing my rates in the coming year, so come get your readings in before the new year. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please do hype the video for me 3 times. Our video was number 27 on the board. So thank you so much for everyone who hyped my previous videos. I really appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the sweet, lovely comments that you guys just pour into me all the time. I really appreciate all the love. And yeah, let's begin this reading on your physical appearance. How do people view your physical appearance? You're giving me major glow up energy. Pile number 2. I do think, you've had like the ugly duckling arc where, the ugly duckling becomes the most beautiful black swan. I do think that is the pattern you've had to follow. You could even very much be the black sheep of the family. Definitely the curse breaker, the generational carrier of the collective trauma that you're supposed to clear in this life. So definitely a lot of heaviness in your energy. You could have very beautiful bones. I'm seeing a very beautiful bone structure is what I meant. You could have Saturn in the first house, D1 or D9 chart. Saturn on the ascendant. And you could experience a lot of inner dryness as well. So lubricate yourself well. You've definitely had a really difficult life, and when people look at you, people can't tell you've had a difficult life because you look really beautiful, you look really handsome. You don't look like the things you've been through. You don't look like all the pain you've experienced, And I do think God has made you that way for a purpose, because you are supposed to uplift people. You are supposed to help even the people who are hating you do better by looking at you. God is making you the example. And I do think you're very loving, you're very kind-hearted, You're very generous, you're very giving, even though people have not been very loving and giving to you. You could have Venus in the 5th or the 6th house. Very karmic relationships. Love has not been easy. Love has been very karmic. You've only had to give to your partners and they've been very not so nice. So, and I think the more you've gone through these very extreme, difficult life lessons, you've only become more beautiful and more powerful and more handsome and more strong, as a result of it. It's your beauty is a result of your alchemy, and people really can't tell. People really can't tell, You've changed a lot, by number 2, and I know you realize that, but I think a lot of people see you that way too. And your appearance could have become different the older you've gotten. You've really evolved. And you've had many amazing fashion eras. You definitely have great taste. I do see that. So you are like a rock star, And I'm channeling. I haven't even pulled one single card. Let's pull some cards. People see you to be victorious. 6 of Wands. People see you to be very, very, very victorious. And like I said, you don't look like the things you've been through, But there's a deep spiritual bent and angle to everything that you do and everything that you are, by number 2. There's a lot of physical attraction, especially towards you right now, because of all the things that you're doing, You could very much even be in the public eye, or whenever you're out in the public, people do look at you a lot. In public spaces, wherever you go to eat or to work out or just to buy stuff, people do check you out a lot, and they do sort of, project their fantasies onto you. Men and women. I think everyone is attracted to you. You do have that very universal appeal, and you have a very magnetic, hypnotic allure that people can't resist. I'm hearing a sad siren. So you could have had your emo era, but again, there's something very alluring, something very deep. Navigating very deep dark currents on your own. And you were hidden in plain sight from the enemies in a way. Your greatness, People really thought you would not come back from a lot of things that you've experienced, but you've only come out stronger and better than ever, and the jaws are on the floor, honestly. So even the people that were hating you are inspired by you, and they want you, and they want to be you. People either want to be with you or they want to be you. So there's a lot of energy that is being poured towards you right now, and you are a high-level magician, which you know how to transmute and alchemize this energy to your benefit. And I do think you're doing that, by number 2. You're meant to be very visible. You're not meant to be hidden away. You're meant to be seen, by number 2. People see you to be very abundant. Like I said, people don't, can't always tell if you're struggling in any way, not just, financially, You could be having the worst day, but, you could still be the star of the show and put on a good show regardless. You would not be the kind to throw a tantrum on the set. You get the work done when the cameras roll. So you do have that very do or die go-getter energy, and you have an excellent work ethic. So people really see you to be the full package, and a lot of people want to sort of tie you down and want to date you, want to be with you, and cage you in a way, So be mindful of that. And I do think you're very good at the self-preservation part of things, I don't know how to teach you that. So you have great discernment about who is genuinely for you and who's not for you. And I do think you are very amused too by, just like people going through their own patterns and cycles, and just witnessing that. I'm sure you find it very amusing at your level of consciousness. And that's all you can do, and not get upset about it, because people are people, and it's never really about you. It's always about them and what they are going through and all their trauma, right? So it is what it is, and you nonetheless know how to bewitch and to enchant. So it always works for you. It always does. Yeah. People do get transformed being in your energy, being around you, whether they like it or not, whether they want that or not. But there's a lot of lustful energy towards you. A lot. I do think you've even had to experience a lot of like uncomfortable stuff of people making passes at you, people not respecting your boundaries. So, there's something called being too beautiful, the curse of Venus. So, you've had those moments, but they've only empowered you even more to be more fierce now. Yeah, Queen of Wands. Very confident. People see you to be very confident. A lot of people could even see you to be very witchy. You could even have a very witchy aesthetic, And you could even dress according to your mood, the colors. But I'm seeing a lot of black. And I see so many people wearing a lot of black, and I'm kind of wearing black today, but my advice for that is, unless you're super conscious and you're super aware of the kind of energy you want around you, do not wear black, because you do attract all kinds of energies to you. Especially if you're like doing the meditation on the void and stuff. So you will magnetize a lot of things to yourself when you wear a lot of black. You just have to be skillful enough and have enough caliber to ride the wave then. But people love your aesthetic, and the different seasons you have in your aesthetic as well. It's very loving, it's very prominent. People really love it. Pile number 2. People do get spooked out by you too, I did see a spirit and it spooked me out a little, but I think it was like a naughty spirit, nothing malicious. So, you could be a little mischievous too. People could see you that way. People see you to be a doer, and I think you're too nice. You don't know how to say no to people. You are always, helping people and being too sweet. So I think often it can cost you. So be mindful and don't take on too many burdens. I think that's like a message for you. Funny, this Empress card has a swan on it, and I gave the black swan reference. So, people really see you to be the little swan that you are. And again, swan is very symbolic of Venus. I saw 2 ducks today. They weren't swans, obviously, and they were a little dirty. They were just staring at me. So, the avian energy is very strong with you, especially the Venusian one. So, you are all beauty. You are the magnet. You don't have to go above and beyond to get anything. Everything will come to you. And people already see you in this beautiful, abundant light. So there's already a lot of this positive energy around you that you can channel how you see fit. So that's definitely a thing over here. Pile number 2. Spend more time in meditation. Learn to slow down too. It'll help you be more productive. Having your days off is important too. So don't overwork yourself over here. I think that's also a message. People really see you for who you are, and they see you to be the full package. And even people who've not been in contact for years, they think about you, they miss you. And I do think they periodically check you or check on you, see what you have going on. Yeah, I think a lot of people miss you. Pile number 2. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest of you. Like my style of reading, please like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times if you are interested in learning astrology. If you are interested in getting a personal reading from me, hit me up on my email or my Instagram. My details are in the description box below, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Gustav Doré Tarot, this is your reading on how do people view your physical appearance, your image. And even before we begin this reading, I do want to announce that 31st of January, I will be offering my astrology course. So if you are interested in learning astrology, having a more intuitive approach to your astrology, come learn from me. My courses are long. They will be for 2 months. It's not a one-day thing. So if you're genuinely interested, if you want to dive into the esoterics, you're very welcome to come learn. And I'm also offering personal readings. I do give very quick personal readings. As soon as you hit me up, I will give you a reading within a day. So if you are interested, you can hit me up for that as well. And I will look at your birth chart as a part of the reading, so you can, get back to me with your birth time as well. And I'm increasing my rates in the coming year, so get your readings in before the New Year's. And please do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. Our video was number 27 on the board. So thank you so much for all the love, all the support, all the hypes, all the likes, all the subscribes. I really, really appreciate all the love, all the sweet, lovely comments that I get every day. I feel so grateful. So thank you so much. And now let's begin this reading on how do people view your image, your physical appearance. Okay, pile number 3, we have the Queen of Swords, we have 3 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Hanged Man. People seem to be very clairvoyant, very wise, very grown. Someone who's had to deal with a lot of difficulties and the ups and downs of life, and the byproduct is you conquering the difficulties and becoming a very strong force to be reckoned with. And people see you to be a warrior. People view you to be like a warrior queen. There's a resilience, yet there's a clarity to things. And you have this way with words too. It's giving Kritika Nakshatra. Even if people are coming at you with all kinds of fantasies and made up realities, you will be able to cut through it and see the reality and the truth of it. So mirages and illusions don't work with you. Neptunian themes, you cut through it. I'm also seeing the fixed star algol. You could have 2 degrees of Taurus in your birth chart. Anything conjunct or opposite 2 degrees of Taurus, you have a algol conjunction. So, and Medusa algol was heard by Poseidon, Neptune. So you cut through people's Neptunian themes too. You cut through people's fantasies. That's how people see you. Very, very sharp energy, very strong energy. You could have Kritika Nakshatra for sure. Or you could even have Swati Nakshatra, which is the last degrees of Virgo, early degrees of Libra. And Swati is the sword. So ability to cut. Very sharp. And I think you're very friendly. It's just you do have a resting, female doggo face. And it's not even that you're angry or upset or sad. It's just, I do think you're naturally very contemplative. You're thinking about something very deep and mystical and esoteric, and something beyond. And it doesn't always lend to a smile when you're deep in thought. But people do see you to be very cold and very distant and very cut off from the reality and everything around you, and how you don't sort of want to be there. So I think a lot of people pick up on that too. But regardless, people see you to be very beautiful, very handsome, very attractive, very very classically appealing to the masses. Everyone is like attracted to you. So that's the thing. And your beauty is not just that. I do think you have been put into people's situations and you've had to go through a lot of difficulties so you can rise and come out and become the best version of yourself and also guide people. This is a very beautiful world card. It's so beautiful. And that's what you are. You are like this God in the center that has all the angels, going in circles around. And people are just viewing you. It almost looks like a supernova. So people see you to be the star that you are. Even if there's a lot of intensity and heat that can even burn them, people still want to watch you, even if it makes them blind. The way if you look into sun too long, we would go blind. So that's the energy. Yeah, people are looking. People are looking. People want to know what's up in your life. Are you seeing someone? Are you busy? How much money are you making? People are very invested in what you have going on. So be super private and take your time with things and people. I think you are in a very happy, content place. You don't really want anything or anyone. You're very happy and content where you are. Even though you want more growth and more money, who doesn't? But besides that, you're pretty chill, and because you are in this very chill energy, you're able to attract more things to you, and even people find you more magnetic now more than ever. Even if they found you very attractive before, they find you even more attractive. And like I said, people who haven't spoken to you in years think about you, and they periodically check on you, and they really see what you have going on, and they sort of want to be a part of it. People see you to be very calm. Very calm. Even if there isn't always calmness within you, you exuberate that. You could have like a Taurus moon. You could have a very strong and a very stable moon. So even when you go through a lot of difficulties, you do emotionally regulate relatively faster than others without taking a lot of damage. So that's a superpower that you also have, pile number 3. People see you to be very emotionally distant and mature, and I do think that is what you need to maintain. Maintain a sense of mystery around you. People don't need to know everything about you. People don't need to know all your little details or what makes you tick or not. And again, you're not meant to have a lot of friends. Saturn Ketu conjunction in the 11th house strongly. So your power is in being alone. You could even have Rahu in the 5th. So your creativity is what your focus needs to be, and who you are. Pouring into that. You're not here to pour into relationships. You're here to pour into yourself. I do think the early part of your life was really difficult. Growing up was not very easy at all, and the older you get, the nicer and more awesome and amazing your life will get. You were definitely born into a lot of karma that you had to burn through, and the good thing about bad experiences is that we're burning our karma, whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not. So, and I think you're at the tail end of it. I do think you've burned through your bad karma, and what is left now is for you to rise. Even though people already see you to be very risen and very above even them. You could have a very classical face, you definitely don't have an iPhone face. You could very much be in a period movie, and it would make sense. So you have a very ornate looking face, a very peculiar face in a good way. You know, certain features that you have, no one has, and that combination works for you. And I saw this video that said that human faces are not actually supposed to be symmetrical, because if they were, they would look very ugly. So, you know, the way nature has made us, you know, she knew what she was doing in her cauldron. So you do inspire people a lot to even be themselves. So you're just that aspirational by number 3, and all your difficulty will make sense because your consciousness is so expanded, and it's going to expand even more than it already is. So things are going to take off for you, and the more you give, the more you help, the more you selflessly be of service, the more amazing and awesome your life will get. You're never meant to have any problems in your life, as long as you do your part, which is, I know, a lot, but if someone can do it, it is you. And it's 11:11, you know, on the timer right now when I'm filming this. So you've got this, and you are the initiator. You know, you haven't fit in because you were supposed to create your own community for people like you. It's as simple as that. So create your space and put yourself out there more, and the right people will come to you. It's a natural calling. Yeah, you're deceiving yourself right now, and a lot of y'all are single in this pile. You definitely have new love coming in, but before you have new love coming in, you have to, you know, be in a good place yourself. So, and you will be busy after you find someone. So make the most of even the solitude, because it's a luxury. Not everyone can get it, or not everyone has that. Yeah, most people don't even want it, but you know, most people don't want luxury things either. So it is what it is, right? I do think people get a little disappointed because they would like to be with someone like you, even though they know it's really difficult, and they wouldn't be able to, you know, pull a baddie like you or pull a hunk like you. But regardless, you know, you charge forward into battle, and you are sort of like the man, you know. Doesn't matter what's your gender, but you do embody a lot of masculine energy when you need to, even if you're super feminine, especially in situations that really require it. You could even have a Mars in the 4th or Mars in the 10th. I'm seeing both over here, you know. But there's a lot of anger here as well. I think people see that. People that are really intuitive, they're able to see through it, and they do see your anger. A lot of it is repressed, and it's sibling, it's simmering. So people see you to be an enigma, and you're meant to be an enigma to people. People are supposed to be, you know, awe-stricken by you, inspired by you, and not being able to figure you out, even if they're really trying to figure you out. You're meant to be a mystery in people's minds and hearts, and that's how you will help them and their soul expand and evolve and grow. So people coming in and out of your life, stop taking it personally. It's never about you, by number 3, and I think you do understand that. But people are very bewitched, people are very mesmerized. I think a lot of people think you've put a spell on them when you clearly haven't, you know. So yeah, that's how people view your image and your public appearance. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times if you are interested in learning astrology. If you are interested in getting a personal reading from me, hit me up on my email or my Instagram. Details in the description box below, and I will see you guys in your next reading. Thank you.